So welcome everybody to this little video which I have jauntily called Poses for Poops, and we are going to be looking at 5 poses taken from yoga asana which can help us to eliminate. If you're doing the Beautiful Alchemy course, then you'll know that this is our third habit or dinacharya for great lifestyle and healthy living. Beautiful Alchemy is a course that we follow the 10 habits from Ayurveda for health, well-being and longevity. And the third of the habits is to get up early and to drink plenty of water and to flush our bowels out. Healthy bowel movement in the morning is a great way to just get your day started without carrying yesterday's crap. And for some of us it's difficult, so this is for all you guys out there that are needing some poses for poops. That said, it's also a great way to start your morning. So I have a blanket here. You might need a blanket or a towel, but I'll show you how to use that as we get going. So come and lie down on your backs, and even if you were starting this in bed, it would be fine. Just begin to draw your right knee into your chest, and you can let your left leg lengthen out. If that's too much for your back, just keep the foot soft on the ground. So this pose is called Apanasana, and it means wind expelling pose. Why I'm using this one to kick things off is because the pressure of the knee and the thigh against the lower abdominals, if you think about the colon is here, the ascending colon is from the right side, we come across the transverse colon and then down the descending colon on the left. So we're always going to start on the right side, and just by pulling the knee into the chest, I'm gently encouraging anything that might feel a little stuck or blocked to kind of move on through that tunnel. And then I can circle the knee a few times in a clockwork direction to encourage anything that's needs to move to go. But of course, like, you know, I kind of think of those Disney rides where you have a boat that goes along a river, you know. It's like you need the water. So you're going to make sure that you're hydrated enough, that you're not eating all just dry foods all the time. Okay, and then pull in a little here. Just give a little extra juju, and then release that foot down. We give the left knee a hug in. So now, as the movement comes across, now we're working on the descending colon. Maybe that's where things are getting a little sticky. Again, just, you may have done these poses in a yoga class before, but it's like the poses are very neutral, but you can plant your intention on the poses and then they become kind of almost like medicinal. So having the intention and the awareness of this part of the body, the colon, knowing that you're doing this with the intention to be able to clear out the, well, they call it in Ayurveda the Mahashrota, the great channel. And then you can release that left leg out and just let your hands rest on your lower abdomen. And you can almost communicate with your abdomen, your colon, asking it to release anything that's tense. And then we'll draw both knees in, kind of double whammy here. Draw them in. If you can, interlace your fingers and just let yourself rock a little side to side. So being able to do a good poop in the morning is fundamental for having a good, clear day. You're releasing out the toxicity from the day before, the debris from the day before. It's like taking the trash out. Energetically, if you find that you have problems going to the bathroom in the morning, notice if you're someone that loves to cling on to things, right? You find it difficult to let go of things. You like to hoard things. You're maybe that kind of just in case person. All associated with the earth element that is to do with going for a poop. Okay, that feels good. Take hold behind your knees and just roll up, and then we'll swing our legs around and come into Balasana or Child's Pose. Again, you don't need to be doing, you don't even need a yoga mat for these poses. Take your seat towards your heels. If your seat does not reach your heels, then I'd like you to take a blanket or even a towel or a cushion and support there. And then we're going to take our fingertips forward, and I want the movement to be, I want to say like churny, right? Thinking of the poop being like earth, and you're trying to break it up like clay by moving the water. So think of water moving the earth, and really get nice and scoochy here, right? When earth gets too dry, it gets stuck. We want to create mud. We want to be able to have the poop just come down that colon tunnel without any problem. And the other thing we're mimicking here is we're mimicking the movement of the body that it does itself. And the colon actually kind of contracts and expands and contracts and expands. And that is how the food is moved down, or the excrement is moved down. And it's called peristalsis, right? So we're kind of breathing in, that would be a contracted feeling, and then breathing out an expanded feeling. And then finally, let your head rest down towards the ground. If your head doesn't reach the ground, bring your hands and just make a pillow and let your head rest. And this is not an area that we talk about often, but again, we are dealing with a body that is ours. So I'd like you to bring your attention to the sphincter muscles, which are the muscles around the anus. Imagine them like a little balloon tie, and I'd like you to soften those muscles. Imagine like a warm liquid or honey or something soft, so that area isn't tense, isn't pulled in tight. Let it relax. And we can use the breath here to kind of push down a little. So as you breathe in, you'll feel it kind of pushing down into the lower belly, into that area. There's a gentle pressure, and as you exhale, there's a releasing feeling. Take one more breath like this. See if you can feel that peristaltic movement, that expansion, contraction, so that it's not stagnant and it's not blocked. And then we'll slowly lift the head up and come up to sit. So now we've moved the bowels from the back and we've moved the bowels from the front. We're going to take it into a little bit of a twist. So we're just going to move side to side. See if you can link with the breath. So you inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. And we'll do this for 1 minute. And even if you do not suffer from no poop in the morning, this is a great way to just open the body for the day. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in future habit, but for now, even if this is all you did, this would be great. And just releasing tension around the diaphragm or breathing muscle right in the center of the rib cage. Good. Take another 10 seconds or so, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. Come back to center, and let's just take our hands to our lower belly again. I'd like you to take a deep breath in Feel the lower belly swell, and then exhale, relax your shoulders and relax your jaw. And so in Ayurveda, the way that energy moves through the body is through what they call the vayus, the winds. And one of those winds is a downward and outward wind called apana vayu. So as we come into the next pose, we can think of this energy moving down and out. It's the energy of going to the bathroom, and it's also the energy of childbirth, right? So that down and out. And this pose is, for some people, if you have a regular yoga practice, you can take your heel right into the groin. So it comes, let me show you face on. So the heel comes right into the lower part of the colon. And actually, I'm going to start by taking the left foot in because I want to start with the ascending colon. So I'm going to take the heel right in. Now, this is not available to everyone, which I completely understand. So I'm going to give you an option if this is not in your range of motion. If this is though, as you come forward, what I want you to do is use your heel and make little circles, and your heel's actually going to go right into the intestinal area and into the colon and actually kind of churn in there. However, for most of us, that's not accessible. So we'll take a blanket or your towel and bring it right in, and again, come forward, and you can just roll a little bit side to side. Almost as effective. It just doesn't have the sharpness of the heel. And then let yourself settle down. Relax your feet. If your range is here, that's fine. Maybe just take your towel in a little bit higher up. Again, nice deep breath through your nose. Try and lengthen the exhale out and feel that softening down and out. Apana vayu, down and out. Towards gravity, towards the ground. We're just helping our own bodies here. We talk about self-care, but right, we're actually doing self-care here. We're working with the intelligence of the body system. We know that the colon comes up on the right and moves down on the left. We know how it works, the peristaltic movement. We know that breath can release tension, especially the exhale. And then slowly come back up. Take your blanket out if you're using that, and then lengthen the legs out. And we'll take the other side, so draw your right foot in. Again, option to take the top of the foot flat on the thigh and use the heel to come right in, or just take the foot to the inside of the leg and use a blanket. And again, make sure it's nice and snug in there. And hands around the shin. Drop the head down, relax your toes. Again, oftentimes in class where we're trying to open the body, we might be flexing and pulling back and kind of engaging, but here the purpose is to soften. Constipation comes from hardening and contraction. So we want to do the opposite. We want to soft and release. We want to feel safe, we want to feel grounded, we want to feel embodied. Poop is related to the element of earth. What a surprise. So having that kind of feeling of being on this earth, being here, grounded down, not in our heads, feeling our skin, feeling this body. And then slowly come up. Okay, lengthen both legs out again. And then our last pièce de résistance in our poses for poops is going to be malasana, or squat pose. So if you know that you can do squat with the heels on the ground, then go ahead and come into this. If, however, your heels do not touch the ground, then grab a blanket or their towel, and we'll take it with the heels onto the towel. Now, in a regular asana class, you will be asked to push out and lift up tall, right? Because we're trying to get the spine tall. But the purpose of this pose, this malasana, is to get this apana down. And if you've ever watched a dog go to the toilet, you'll notice that the dogs kind of pull their seat underneath them to help, almost like the birth canal, right? To push things out. So I want you to lift your seat up and then just tuck under. You let your hands come together and let your forehead rest on your fingertips. And you can allow your spine to round. And then any small movements feel good. And we're just going to be here for a little under a minute. And since we're here and we're waiting for the body to do its thing, helping it with these physical movements, the mind's going to say, well, what are we doing? Well, this is silly. What are we doing poses for poops for? The mind's going to give you all sorts of stuff. So you know what? Let's lasso that mind and use it for something you're grateful for, something you're going to start today, something you're going to do today that you're happy to be doing or happy to be. I'm guessing this video is best, thinking first thing in the morning when you need to eliminate, flush out, especially if you're doing the course, but it could be used at any time. And we'll just take another moment here. Come to stillness if you've been rocking. Relax your toes. Feel the weight of yourself going down and out. And then we'll come out of this squat pose. Take your hands behind yourself. I'm going to turn to face you, crossing my shins. And I wish you all a wonderful and easeful poop and a clear and clean day, completely free of any kind of crap. Namaste.